Precious, good evening. My name is Seipati and I am the founder and chief executive of Southern African Women in Leadership. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you and welcome you to the inaugural finalist of the Southern African Trailblazers Awards. How are you feeling and where are you speaking to us from?
Thank you so much, Seipati, and thank you so much, Andy, for having me. I'm speaking and connecting with you guys from Gaborone, Botswana. Isn't it amazing that technology makes it so much easier, for everyone to connect from all over the world? I am excited, and I think for me, this year has just really taught me that it's possible to make impact and people to recognize that even when you are far apart, and it all comes back to you. So I am so excited. It's a great feeling. For me, the nomination on its own is such a big deal. I'm celebrating it. Botswana has been celebrating it. The newspapers got wind of it. It's crazy. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate.
We love Fantastic. It. We love Botswana so much. We actually noticed how much excited the government and, like you said, the whole country.
Yes.
Nomination. I think we have 3 nominations for Botswana. If you include one who I think she's also from there, it's 4. So really incredibly amazing women coming from that country where my mom was born from. So I'm excited myself. So it's a delight, a blessing. And congratulations to you guys. You guys are absolute trailblazers. We are honored to have you here. And just for introduction purposes, this is Dr. Andy Brough from the Brough Leadership Institute. He's my co-pilot and colleague. He'll be doing the formal interview. But before he gets into that, who is Precious? What is she about? And what earned her a seat at this table?
Well, thank you so much. Precious, as the name suggests. Basically, Precious is a trailblazer. One way or the other, I am an advocate for the people. I think that there's nothing that any true young person can do in this era than to reach out to people, identify their issues, and help them through it. So Precious is all about the people. She is the founding partner of Precious and Partners, a corporate legal practice in Gaborone, Botswana. And she's recently been named top 30 most influential young law firm founders in Africa. And that's a big deal. But most importantly, Precious is the founding member and the president of the Pan-African Game Changers. It's a non-profit organization for young women. We're about women empowerment. We are about change. We speak to Pan-Africanism. We are about really looking within ourselves to effect change. Gone are the days where we have to look outside for change. We are the change that we're talking about and the much needed change the world needs.
Wow, Precious, you are at the right place. Southern African Women in Leadership is exactly the organization for women like yourselves. So once again, congratulations and really an honor from my side to have you be part of the inaugural Trailblazers Awards. Andy, over to you.
Thank you, Seipati. Precious, I'd like to start with what you just described there, which is the game changers. That sounds fascinating. What does that involve? Who are you looking to reach? And how do you go about changing the game?
Thank you so much. It's about changing the game, rightly so, Dr. Brough. For us, the movement really is about women from the ages of 18 to 35. What I discovered is that women are dreamers. Women carry so much. But what happens mainly in Africa is that they lack the much needed mentorship. They lack the much needed, support to be able to achieve and to do whatever projects they want to do in our communities. So we've basically said we've created a haven where young people, visionaries, leaders in their own right, come together with different projects, pour those ideas within the movement, and then we help them plan, mentor them, help them through projects, help them through financial planning, how to execute their individual projects, what they need to do. For instance, in Botswana, we have sub-baby or a sub-movement, I would call it, called the Pets Drive. So this young girl had an idea to help or reach out to some people in the villages, but she didn't know how to go about it. So then we went out and, we partnered with the Ministry of Education, and we said to them, would like to adopt schools. So the schools help us in actually identifying young girls that need our help. But all of this has been channeled or packaged in such a way that it goes through the Pan-African Game Changers. We come together, we raise funds. We actually don't solicit sponsorship. We raise funds within ourselves, and we run with every other project that comes our way. But we also work towards funding and, in fact, sponsoring our own sisters in the process. If you are a game changer and you're struggling with fees and you're a brilliant student, we come up with ways to actually help you continue with school. But what is important is we're trying to create or foster a mindset that says that we can do it on our own. We have to just come up with ways to survive without necessarily expecting handouts. So young women are excited. They're actually also out there adopting other young people. So it's also about, once you're empowered, empower another, and the beat goes on. So that's basically what game changing is all about. So we do all of that. We do charity work. We also partner with government every time there's a need. Lately, they actually call us. During the COVID pandemic, we got calls. There were people starving. We were told, would you like to be part of this? And we said, yeah, sure. So we had to look within ourselves and see what we could raise. We went and, bought food packs, groceries, and we went on a drive. So we just simply about making the change without waiting for government to do certain things. We believe on our own, we are the much needed change to help other young people and the world at large.
And Precious, in between all of that game changing, you're back at UNISA and you're doing a Master of Laws. Why would you do that, and where are you hoping that will take you?
Well, I think this is something I will make so much reference to my father. My father said between the age of 25 to 40 years, that is the time to sow as much seeds. That's the time to get an education. That's the time to plant businesses. That's the time you're more energetic. So you have to do the most now in order for you to live better. Post 40, the energy levels are going a little bit lower, and then you're not able to do so much more. But I think most importantly, it's about planning. If you have a solid plan, you're good, you have great organizational skills, you're able to do every little thing, and you're also able to empower others and delegate, and empower them to also run with the vision.
You describe yourself as being passionate about human rights. Give me one of those areas, Precious, that you would be looking to present advocacy for.
Yes. In the past, actually, I've done something in Malawi. We actually partnered with the albinism community. In fact, at the time, they didn't have a society. Remember, there was a time, I think some 2-3 years ago, when a lot of albinos were killed, and there was a lot that was going on. And really, there was no laws that would safeguard the rights of albinos, sadly, in Malawi. So I was actually part of some of the young people that came together to draft laws that we then recommended to government that could help protect albinos, and to also really look into, imposing sanctions on perpetrators, people that were found with body parts and things like that. We actually were one of the pressure movements, if you want to call it, to government to say, you as government must put the necessary laws to ensure that people don't die. Albinos deserve the same, treatment as any other human being. So I'm proud to have partnered with them. We've also donated certain, products and things like, your sunglasses, your sunscreens. And we've gone on a drive to also educate people about people living with albinism, because strangely, even in the Malawian communities, people thought they did not deserve, a decent life, or at least to live. They were treated more or less like outcasts. So this is something I was really passionate about, and I'm still passionate about, because it's still ongoing. But you find that government has been able to pass laws that help, secure the rights of those young children that were being killed. So that's something I'm passionate about.
Precious, you are, and you mentioned, one of the top 30 most influential lawyers in Africa. What advice would you give to young people watching this? How do they climb that ladder to where you are? If you look back now, what would be some of the top tips you would give them?
Okay. I think just be passionate about the people. Let it be something that as long as you're an advocate for the people, it goes without saying that you get concerned when there's an injustice as a young person. You get concerned when, our government is not taking certain issues seriously. You really need to be a voice, no matter how small your voice is, it matters. And I began to learn that government would listen. Every time someone has something to say, they listen. Eventually, you just need to make the necessary noise in order to get an audience. And that has worked, not just in Botswana, within, the Southern Hemisphere. I try by all means to also engage with other activists, other young people. I try to engage as much because our problems as Africans are not just in Botswana where I am. You find that it cuts across the African continent. So the most important thing is to understand what the people's needs are, what their rights are, where they are being infringed, and what you can do if you're a young lawyer like myself. What is it that you can do? One of the things that you can do is affiliate with organizations, movements that advocate for rights, movements that speak to the people. When you speak to the people, there's just no how you can be rejected.
Precious Gondwe, on behalf of the SAWIL Trailblazers, we want to congratulate you on getting this far and wish you every success with the finals, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.